bow of compulsion is a defense against a wrist lock. The word compulsion suggests that someone will be forced to do something, perhaps against their will. It could be the opponent administering the wrist lock to me, compelling me to bend over. It could be the follow-ups that we use to compel the opponent to bend over. And the word bow suggests the act of bending. Let's take a look. So what happened there? Well, I found myself in a wrist lock, and this technique works against a variety of attacks. The one that you saw initially here was a Z-lock. The opponent grabbed, let's get really close so they can see what you're doing here. Yep, face me, and I'm gonna come down on my knees here. So, actually let's switch sides so I can get a better view. So the opponent is grabbing my hand in this fashion. You can see his thumb is around the meat of my hand, but excluding my thumb. And then his other hand copies, and he hugs this tight to his chest, and keeping my thumb pointed down towards the ground, he then points my fingers to my face, and that compels me to bend over. The key here really is having my hand, let go, having my hand oriented in this vertical fashion. Thank you. Now, my response to this lock was to attempt to stiffen my wrist and flatten my palm against his chest, and that takes the pressure off of my wrist. So he has me in this, what we call a Z-lock, compelling me down. I'm forcing my palm to his chest, pinning with my free hand, and as I step to a neutral bow or even a wide kneel, I'm going to pull my hand down, clawing through his center line, perhaps even striking the groin. From here, you saw me reverse the motion of my right arm using a reverse hand sword, striking with this portion of my hand up into the opponent's groin. Using my free hand here as a timing check. From there, I executed an outward downward back knuckle, striking with the two big knuckles through his temple, and then continuing my motion, even chambering here at the pectoral, striking with an inverted vertical hook punch. You saw me begin a single cover before coming back with a back kick. You may just close the distance with a rear crossover, whatever you need, or even dragging up into a reverse cat stance. But nevertheless, we're gauging the distance for that back kick to his left temple before making my exit here towards 7:30. Now, I mentioned the Z-lock. It's called a Z-lock because of the zigzag formation that it ultimately creates here in my arm as the opponent applies it. He could be administering many other types of locks. For instance, he may simply be hugging my hand to his chest. Go ahead and hug with both hands. And if he steps back and bend over at the waist, yeah, you see now he's bowing, and his bow compels me to bend over. So that may be one way to signify, or where the name gets its technique's name gets its significance. But my defense works just the same. Yep. He may even have me in an inward wrist lock. Yep, just like that. Now, if I can ball up my hand, stiffen my wrist, and turn to face him, I can pin and escape, striking into the groin. So, any number of different ways that the opponent could be applying a wrist lock to you, and this technique should work just fine. I'll perform it here once for you in the air. So, there you have it for bow of compulsion.